Hey, what's up, guys? It's Brent here. If you don't know me, I built a company called C4F. We're responsible for millions upon millions of dollars worth of online fitness packages being sold. We typically sell anywhere from $4,000 to $10,000 per package, and we average 12 months per transaction. So if you guys want to learn a little bit more about selling online packages, if you're an in-person coach and you're on the floor and you're putting in the hours and you want to potentially transition online, stick around. Hopefully you'll learn something. Hopefully you'll make some money from this. What I put together, guys, was when I built C4F, we scaled up to 16 closers at one point. Okay, so I feel like I have an idea of what makes someone a really good closer, and then I've gone on to scale hundreds of businesses. Okay, and so here are the top 5 tips that can improve your sales process potentially overnight. Honestly, like overnight, if you start implementing these, by the end of the month, you're going to notice massive results in your business. So number 1, know when enough is enough. Okay. If we're on a sales call and everybody wants to get better at objection handling, and I get it, it's fun. I love being able to, I like to use the word influence. I like being able to influence someone to make a better decision for themselves. I'll never influence someone to make a decision that's in my best benefit. I am out of the picture. This is all them. This is their health. This is their life. This is their future, their relationships, everything. So if they are having trouble making a good conscious decision for their health and relationships and life, I want to be the person that can influence them to take a step in a different direction to get different results and hopefully live a better life. But you have to know when enough is enough. Not everyone is ready to buy on that call. And I know you're probably like, okay, this guy says he sold millions of dollars worth of fitness, and the first tip he's giving me is telling me to give up on the sale. I'm not telling you to give up on the sale. I'm telling you to give them time. Okay. There are a lot of high pressure sales tactics out there right now. I see the competition. A lot of my clients come from my competition. They show me what they've been doing. I see some of their sales calls. It's brutal. It's borderline manipulative, and I'm just not a fan. Our sales process is a little bit more relaxed. It's essentially what we're doing is it's called the push-pull buying process. We're getting them to take micro actions, micro commitments throughout the call, right? Because if they can make successive small decisions to make a better decision for themselves, then when you get to the end of the call and that big decision comes when it's time to sign up, they have already built momentum. They've already been taking action all throughout the sales call. And then they're much more likely and capable of making a big decision at the end. Okay. The other sales scripts that I'm seeing are a lot of like telling, not selling, right? This. Do you agree? Do you agree? Do you agree? And it's a lot of telling, not selling, not asking questions, not getting to the bottom of it. So again, tip number 1 is know when enough is enough. So if you're in your 3rd round of objection handling and they're just not ready and you just keep pressuring them, it's so much better to just, 1, understand the problem and objection handle appropriately, which we have an entire process built out. That's not the purpose of this video here. Know when they've made their decision. Like sometimes people, they'll waver a little bit, but if someone's set and solid in their decision and you keep trying to get them to make a different decision, if you don't just end the call, do a follow-up, do anything like that, if you just keep pushing, you're going to push them right out of your pipeline. They're going to unsubscribe. They're going to block you. They're going to tell you to leave them alone. So know when enough is enough when someone is set in their decision, at least for that day. People do change their mind over time, right? So think long-term, not short-term. Okay. Tip number 2, focus on your data. Double down on what's not working. Okay. And I know that seems extremely obvious. So take this for instance. Let's say I'm a business owner. I am an online fitness coach and I close at 60%, 70%. I'm pretty good. Maybe focusing entirely on my sales process doesn't make the most sense right now, because if I go and invest a whole bunch of money and I get my sales closing from 70 to 75, that's going to make a pretty minor impact on my business and my revenue. Yeah, I got better, but wouldn't it make more sense to invest in maybe my show rate? Maybe my show rate for my closing calls is 40%. Well, it's going to make a lot bigger impact to get it from 40 to 70% than 70 to 75%. So don't just focus on what you like. focus on what has the most priorities and what's going to make the biggest impact and produce the most ROI for you. So again, focus on your numbers. If you're not tracking your numbers, I don't even know why you're watching this. Like, stop this, go back to one of my older videos where I talk about KPIs. Start tracking your numbers, for the love of God. Okay, so see what needs the most attention, focus on that. Don't just focus on the things that you want to focus on or the egotistical things. Okay. Tip number 3, this is not a boxing match. If you go into sales calls and like your intention is like, how can I win this sale? How can I beat them to a pulp and get them to make a decision that I want them to make? How can I sign this person up? If you're asking yourself all of these questions, you are setting yourself up for an awful call, okay? Because everything is in self-interest. And sales and self-interest do not align, okay? The person who has the client, the prospect's best interest in mind the entire time will get the sale 75% more, okay? I'm making that number up, but in my experience, like, we just come with a very holistic approach. Like, how can I help you make a good decision? How can I help you overcome some of the fears and the complications that you've dealt with so that you can take a step in a new direction? So sales is not a boxing match. We are not there to fight them. It's not confrontational. It's collaborative. Okay. So if you feel like you're sitting across the table from someone, that's a good indication that you're not really acting in their best interest. You need to come around and get on the same side of the table with them and think about it like, hey, we're looking at the same thing here. How can we make this work? Right? Not how can I sign you up, but how can we make this make sense? Maybe it's a payment plan. Maybe it's I'll sign you up at a reduced rate if you give me this disc, or if you give me 5 referrals. Or maybe it's, hey, I'll sign you up for 6 months and you can pay over 8. Maybe it's a lender, right? Financing it. Maybe they want a 6 month and you want them to sign up for a 12 months because it's more money. Well, maybe it makes sense to sign them for a 6 month for now and then just focus on re-signing them. So just think, how can we make this make sense for you? It is not a boxing match. Okay? It is collaborative. That tip right there will make you, that was a game changer for me as a salesperson, for me as a business owner, for every aspect of my career. Sometimes, guys, and I know this is not going to feel good, but sometimes the best decision for them is not your service. It is not you as a coach. I turn a lot of people away out of their best interest. Sometimes people come to me, and I know this is going to seem made up because it's on YouTube, but if you've been on a sales call with me, you know it to be true. If the finances don't make sense, I'm not going to pressure you into financing it. If also your credit's kind of on the verge and you have some other things coming up and then life's not going so well, I'm not going to pressure you for a sale on my end. I'm going to do what's best for you in your interest and for your family. You should be acting in the same way on your sales calls. And what happens is when people are in a better position, they come back around. This could be months, this could be years down the road. But again, we're playing the long game. And until you get out of a short-sighted mindset, you're never going to really grow as a business owner. And that's a tough pill to swallow. So think about the client, their best interest, and long-term goals of the business and reputation. Okay, I built a really, really solid reputation in this business because I don't sell to just anyone. Okay, turn as many people away as probably I bring in, if not more. It's because I'm not the right fit for everyone. And so you got to have that same confidence when you're on your sales call. Maybe there is someone who's a better fit for them. Maybe they're more qualified for eating disorders or things like that. And make the referral. Maybe it'll come back around. They'll make a referral back to you. Just do right by the client and you will have a very successful business, a very long-lived business. Okay. What are we on? Number four, be open to feedback. Don't hire a mentor if you're not open to feedback. And the victim mentality. Okay. If you have a victim mentality, you will never succeed in business. If it's why me, everyone else is doing well, why can't I do well? Why me? I used to have this mentality, by the way. I was in a mentorship and it seemed like everybody was crushing it. I'm like, I'm doing all the same shit. Why am I not succeeding? Instead of asking yourself why, start thinking like, okay, what do I need to do? Right? Not why. Why is like, oh, poor me. Thinking what and how. Okay, so they did this. How are they better than me? Okay, how are they making content that's different, that's more attractive? How are they framing their hooks in their stories? What about what they're doing is more effective than what I'm doing? Don't come in with a victim mentality like, oh, dang, just nothing ever works for me. It won't. It will not. If you tell yourself that nonstop, I can tell you with all the confidence in my heart and soul that it will not work out for you. And maybe you need to either develop a new mindset or look into another career. That's just me being blunt. Number 5, follow a process that is replicatable. Duplicatable? One of the two. Both? Okay. If you're just getting on every sales call and you're just shooting from the hip, you follow no specific process. Maybe you go on a streak and it works really well. And you're like, I'm the best. And then you start doing things a little bit different. You don't really know what you changed and you haven't been following a process. Now we kind of go into like turmoil. Okay. And the other thing is, like, you might be good at sales. Maybe you close at 50%, 60%, but it's really hard to get better if you don't follow a process and seek to improve on specific parts of the process. Because if we just shoot from the hip every time, it's random. I don't like random as a business owner, as a business mentor. You shouldn't like random either. Random sales, random paid in fulls, random cancellations. We don't like random. We like systematic approaches to things, and you cannot get better if you don't follow a specific process to identify where things are falling off or not working, or maybe where they're working really well, and then taking that same energy and plugging it into another part of the script. So again, guys, that's my 5 tips to hopefully increase your sales and make you a better business owner. If you guys like this style of content, like top 5 this, do this, don't do this, comment, let me know. Obviously, I'm a sponge. It makes sense for me to make content that you guys like. So if you guys like the content, let me know. If you hate it, let me know all the same. I drop these videos free every single week. So if you guys haven't checked out the channel, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do so now. It's only going to benefit you because it costs nothing, and I'm hopefully providing a ton of value. So with that, have a great day. It was just the 4th of July, so happy 4th of July, everyone. Take care, be safe, and let's crush it together.